Welcome everyone to the Toku Portal podcast. It's me Zero here with
Kid.
Henshin.
And Rai. Today we're talking about Kamen Rider Build. Episode 25. We're halfway through this series.
That makes me extremely sad. In a month or two they'll announce the next show, I'm betting.
Yeah, we'll probably see the trademarks get filed. Kind of feels like the show just started like not that long ago. It's kind of weird that we're halfway through it.
I'm praying that we get 49 episodes rather than have it cut short like Ghost and X-Aid were.
Ghost was a full 50, wasn't it?
You're right, X-Aid was cut short. Ghost was a full 50. X-Aid deserved more episodes.
It deserved both more and less. It's weird. But we're talking about Build tonight. So, possessed Mizora walks up to the battle and unleashes her energy. She opens a hole in Skywall and tosses the enemy riders right through it. That is absolutely not what I was expecting from last time. What about you guys?
I don't know what I was expecting, but seeing that made my jaw drop, and I was like, that is amazing, and also really weird. Also, it was hilarious how she sent all three of them blasting off, and all of I could think of was Team Rocket.
Yeah, that was a shocker. I mean, not only that, opening Skywall and throwing them out, but then she talks in another voice, like she's possessed by an Imagine or something. So, holy crap, this was definitely a way to start an episode.
Alright, yeah, that was an interesting start. The Team Rocket thing, yeah. I was pretty much imagining something like that extreme. Like here's the thing, I thought she was gonna like de-hension them or something. Like I didn't see the skywall like opening up. That was different.
Okay. So, Sento meets up with Soichi to ask about Mizora's bangle. Uh, Soichi explains they found it on Mars, but he's also pretty shocked at how much power she's getting from it. And then he also reveals to Sento that there is in fact a Seto spy in Toto. Because apparently Namba raised a bunch of kids to be his mind slaves or whatever.
Yeah, that came completely out of nowhere. If they'd hinted at that more, it felt a little tell don't showy, but I suppose we'll see how important Nanba's children are to the overall plot.
Well, it's definitely satisfying, at least, because, I mean, not in the podcast, but the little king was complaining that we didn't have any story for the Gear Bros, and now we do, so awesome. And it's just so typical of Namba to pull something like this while working on multiple projects. He's just super smart and scheming.
Hey Drago, welcome to the podcast. Do you have any thoughts on Mizora opening a hole in Skywall and team rocketing the enemy riders?
The only thought I have right now is holy shit.
Wow, that really was your only thought.
Yeah, pretty much.
We were also talking about how Namba, like, raised / mind controlled, like, a bunch of kids or whatever.
Yeah, basically, Nanba is like maybe using this kids like how they raise kids in a cult. Y- So yeah, basically, Nanba went from a weapon manufacturer to a terrorist organization in like an episode.
Any other thoughts, or do you want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm done.
Yeah, when I was watching that, I was like, okay, we were borrowing so many different things from different shows, and like this show is referenced like Fies like a million times. So I'm like, okay, so we've literally taken like the weirdo side story of Fies. Okay, here's the weird thing, like in Fies, there's like this orphanage, and like most of the characters are from this like weird orphanage thing that like the president of like Smart Brain, like the first president of Smart Brain created. But the thing is, they're not like he didn't create it for evil purposes. That's what like everybody thought. Like he did get them together for a different purpose, but he wasn't like an asshole. Like he didn't want to control them. He just kind of did this like, oh, what do these people have in common, and then it led to something else. But like there was this one theory of like, oh, you brought them together to make them like, brain control them and make them your soldiers. And I'm like, that was the like second president's theory of what the hell was going on. But like in Build, that's actually what's going. It's so weird. Like we've got like Guy, Wizard, and Fies now. Like literally, their plots thrown into one arc and done like way more hardcore than in those shows. So yeah, that's I didn't expect that to happen.
Sento runs some tests on Mizora and her bangle, and on his computer he gets a scene of a civilization collapsing. Mizora sees it every time she purifies bottles. She sees it and she goes, I don't want that to happen, and the bottle purifies. Sento theorizes that the bangle may have an AI-like will of its own that seeks to prevent Pandora's box from being opened so that doesn't happen again. It's pretty interesting theory. It would explain like possessed Mizora. It just makes me wonder if purifying bottles is necessary for opening Pandora's box, then why would the bangle go along with that?
Yeah, that is interesting. If since the bottles will open Pandora's box, you'd think you wouldn't want to purify the bottles unless it's the unpurified bottles that were used last time. We need to learn more about possessing Misora first.
Yeah, this was the one part of that episode that kind of lost me. I mean, it's still interesting, but yeah, we'll just have to see.
The plot gets weirder and weirder every single episode. I mean, like, especially when you get revelations about the Pandora's box and everything, you think that this series is gonna be like somewhere like Earth grounded kind of thing in the beginning, and the Pandora's box is a MacGuffin. Now, I don't know because of the sentient AI thing and the rest. I think Soichi also has that in his, but that thing might have possessed his mind or something. After touching the Pandora's box, yeah, so I feel that maybe now this is gonna the third or fourth arc is gonna uh maybe be like something out of Mars invasion or something like that, or maybe like Soichi, like the guy who possessed Soichi or Misora wants to restore the planet or something by using Earth resources. Who knows? But yeah, the plot gets really weirder.
We have a comment. It says from Springtime Bonnie. Misora is actually the name of a Kamen Rider, so like potentially female Kamen Rider showing up. That'd be cool. Um,
Where was this? Where did this person find that?
I don't know. I'll ask in the chat. What are you guys' thoughts on it in the meantime?
Female writers don't have a very good track record with the whole survivability thing. What, no one else?
Yeah, we
Um,
discussed that last week, and you are right. So, yeah, according to the scans I've seen, it doesn't seem to be a suit that would be Misora's.
Your
Maybe it
mic
hasn't
is...
been
Your...
released yet. Cutting out 1 second.
Oh, wait, I think it's fine.
Hear me now?
We hear you.
Cutting out, actually.
okay, about the female writers thing, I think that the only person that the only female writer till now that is actually interesting and became very much more interesting than after becoming a writer is Poppy. So I just and Misora is still an interesting character in this series. So if she turns into a writer, then fine, I would be really happy.
Really, you don't think like any other female writer is interesting?
No, not really. I mean, Nico is somewhat interesting. I'm watching Stronger, and then Tackle is pretty good. But yeah, Femme was interesting, but then she was just in a movie. So, and I don't like Marika.
Yeah, I was gonna say Femme, but you're right, she was like... She had a short appearance.
Okay. What about Mayu from Wizard?
No.
What really? She's got a good storyline.
Yeah, she does have a good story, but it just I feel that some of the Wizards thing is not paced out well. So
Oh,
her
I
sto-
mean that's for sure. But that's because like Toei and a million other dumbass shit. Like the whole reason Wizard is super long is because like Gaim wasn't ready. You know, like that's why it's super long.
So
Anyway,
did it get like an extra like 5 or
it
6
got like
episodes?
yeah, it got like 53.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there's like a weird like mini Kamen Rider Tyson at the end of like like one of those like Decade episodes where he just like travels to a different world, except Decade and normal Wizard travel to one of those weirdo worlds, and it's like Decade's Wizard world. So like it's like one of those like alternate reality worlds, except it's for Kamen Rider Wizard, but then like normal Decade and normal Wizard show up in there, both different ways, because Decade can travel in between dimensions, and like Wizard finds this weird magic stone thing, but like Wizard can teleport anyway. And then like normal Gaim shows up at the end because they can jump through dimensional tears. It's fucking weird.
This actually sounds
yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, like if you
Well,
don't,
Momotaro shows up, so it is hilarious.
I mean they're all normal. Yeah, it's fucking weird. Um,
okay. I wanted to say this as well. Beast, right? Kamen Rider Beast with a secondary rider. He shows up from another point in time. And
oh
that was
yeah, yeah. That's great. It's just because like, oh, we need Beast because end of Wizard reason. So he just like jumps through a portal, but it's not Beast from the end of the show. It's Beast from some other part. It's fucking great. And he's like, "Why am I here? I don't even know." It's like, it's fine. I'm just gonna pretend like I were in camp. It's fucking great because Beast is always great. Anyway, what happened was Springtime Bunny said, I meant she said the name of an upcoming writer name Evolt. So I guess less female writer, more like prophecy of upcoming writer, I guess. I don't know.
Whatever
I mean, it could
Evolt
be.
is.
yeah,
Which
but
I have a suspicion, but like I don't know, so I'm not gonna say too much.
okay, yeah. From my suspicion, I feel like Evolt is gonna be Soichi or something because he uses a snake bottle. Yeah, so maybe it might be Misora because Build could surprise us.
Plot twist, it's Sawa.
No.
Oh my god. Okay. Okay. If we're doing the whole like bullshit random person becomes writer from like Fies, like Sawa could be a fucking writer. But I don't think that's
Leave that shit in Gaim, where just any minor character is a writer by the end of the series.
You know what? Like I kind of like here's the weird thing, like my first show was Kiva, so like when they're fully
Hello?
Oh, we hear
Hello.
you.
Yes, okay, sorry about that. My internet crashed again.
Alright,
well, at least we hear you now.
Zero,
yeah.
what were you saying?
I'm looking up
No, go ahead, Henshin.
scans of Kamen Rider Evol now, which might be sorry, minor spoilers, but I'm not sure. It could be Misora, but I don't have a good enough picture of it to guess accurately.
Well, we can talk more about it later as more information comes about.
Yeah, so like I was saying, my first one was Kiva, and so the thing is like Kiva has Ixa, and the thing is for me it's like, oh yeah, it's just like it's like a human based writer, so anybody can fucking use it, right? Like it's just like the evolution of the Phi system, whereas like Kiva is the evolution of like Guiteau's like form change gimmick. But like nobody's ever fucking done Ixa ever again, so I'm like, oh, that sucks. Because every time it's like, oh, it's a writer, and it's like this person, and I'm like, it's fine, they could just hand it off to somebody else, it'll work. But they never do, and I'm like, that's so dumb.
Well, they did for both.
Yeah, but they also got a second, like the prototype bird suit, so it didn't matter. Like, it wasn't like a hand, like.
Yeah, okay, wait. Let me clarify on this. It was a handoff technically, but the cast members loved the guy who played Date so much that they were like, "Stay over."
Oh, so like they wrote him back into the show?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
pretty
neat.
much. That's the thing with O's, like everybody's so goddamn likable. They're like, okay, technically you should be gone in this point of the story, but fuck the story. You're too much fun. We're gonna put you back in. And that's sort of like the third part, like, you know, 3/4 of the way through O's and stuff. It's like, ah, fuck it. Like the story is clearly falling apart somewhat, but like these characters are so good we don't care. Yeah, that was interesting. I mean, then again, he did become a fucking metal hero, so good for him, I guess.
Yeah, well, that guy was also R5 in Rescue Force.
Really? That's so
Yeah.
cool.
He
He has to show up in Sentai Gara and Ultraman. He'll just complete the.
I was gonna say he was also an extra in Juoger who died.
Oh yeah, he was. That sucks. Okay, fine. He's got Ultraman, I guess, to show up.
Okay.
Well, I wanted to say something. The only two shows that he needs to appear is in Garo and Ultraman. Then he would have appeared in most of the major Toku franchises.
So, Bonzo goes around and informs, people that need to be informed of Pandora Box's relocation at the Toto Machinery Factory. And then the Gear Bros invade looking for Pandora's Box because the information leaked. However, they don't find it. Build, Grease, and Crossy ambush them. And working together, they are actually able to take them on. This was a pretty good fight scene. Sento is using his different combinations to actually get something out of them. And then he has the two power hitters. I thought it was a pretty good fight.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed the fight and the lighting as well. It's a nice warehouse. But yeah, it was fun seeing Build work with combinations that weren't best matches in a smart way. But that's all I have to say.
Well, the funny thing that I heard someone on Twitter say that is he did something smart. Basically, how gears can be, if you add water to it, if you add moisture to it, get rusted over time.
Sure,
So
sure. Hmm.
yeah, so Build was using the fire truck form, which can and he was applying water to the gear Remacon. That was interesting.
Huh. Yeah, that was smart.
I didn't know that water could affect gears, but I guess it rusts them.
Yeah, I mean, the one like this is one of those weird things because like literally their introduction, they're fighting by like I was gonna say a river. It's not a river. It's more like a stream, pond, whatever. So like, water technically shouldn't damage them, but I guess it makes sense. I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like you can't really plan out every single thing. But eh, at least he's using the damn matches, and
Yes, and
and
not
at
the very
least
dangerous combination.
yeah, exactly. Plus, like, man, this is why I don't like hazard level because it's like, oh, what's the thing? Oh, our heroes had to get beaten. Well, their hazard level's not high enough. Like 2 episodes later, suddenly their hazard level goes up. Like, come on, man. Like, at least use some. Like Bonzo, I can go with because like Bonzo's a fucking musclehead. But like Grease and Build have like different combos and stuff. They should use them.
Yeah, I also wanted to like say about that, but one thing I really can appreciate about hazard level is that, okay, suppose like Grease doesn't get another form, you could just make him do stuff that he shouldn't normally do and just say that he got his hazard level high enough so that he can beat opponents stronger than him, like who have like more forms and stuff. So that's where, and also the fact that they have told hazard level isn't the only way to determine it. If it's way high, then yeah, they are not beatable. But you can use techniques and skill and experience to actually get over the number. So hazard level don't technically matter, but it makes sense to for consistency's sake.
Okay, I mean that is a good point, but it's only a good point if Grease sticks around.
Well,
If he goes away and we're like left with Build and Ryoga, like it doesn't fucking matter because they're gonna get new forms anyway. Whereas like if Grease sticks around, I'm like, okay, fine. He's doing the Elaine thing from Ghost because he was like so strong compared to the other two riders. Like their powered up forms, like both of their powered up forms. Actually, no. I think like Spectre was just in base form, but he was like form changed, and like Ghost was in his like mid-season powered up form, and he still kicked their ass like clean, like super simply because he was just that much stronger. I mean, if Grease sticks around, then it makes sense. If he doesn't, then it's kind of annoying.
I mean, do you think that Grease won't stick around?
I hope Grease sticks around. He's a really interesting character. And I like the idea that he's encouraging Sento and Ryuga to get stronger, and now that they're playing off of each other, that will also help.
Or if he's liked enough and they had plans to axe him, then they won't have plans to axe him.
Based
I don't
off
know,
of his
man.
actor, I can see that happening.
Yeah.
Okay. See, here's the problem. Like that didn't stop it. Oh, okay. Spoilers. Yeah, I can't say that line, but you know, that wasn't the case before, I guess.
I mean,
The reason.
if you're
Okay, wait.
if you're talking about the series I think you're talking about, then the end of the series doesn't count.
Okay. I mean, I guess technically it was foreshadowed because like, that's the one thing about the guy. Um,
Yeah, we're talking about the
yes.
same thing here. like we're not like end of the series is what you're referring to, which is a completely different situation than mid-series.
Okay, fair enough, I guess. Um, my thing with that is like we have so many fucking writers showing up. Like we have three of them running around. No, four of them running around. Technically, Stark is another one, plus the two Gears guys, plus the new one. Right? Like one of them might get axed, and it's not gonna be fucking Ryuga, and it's damn as hell not gonna be Build. So like Greece is the most expendable one. Like after this arc, that's what my problem with. I mean, that's my one worry. Like I don't think he'll get killed off, but like if anybody was about to go, it's probably gonna be him.
I don't see it happening, but you do make a good point. Alright. So, everyone Bonzo had informed of Pandora's Box was actually given different information. So, based on this, they can identify who the spy was. It was Himuro's assistant, who ends up committing suicide when he's exposed. Rogue then invades the real hiding spot, being guarded by Akaba. So there's still another spy out there. The riders show up just in time for Rogue to see Rogue finish Akaba off. It's pretty sad. We don't even get to see most of the fight.
Then again, as soon as Azumi left Akaba with presumably the box, I had a feeling he was going to get killed off. Also, he was the only one of the trio left. I really like Sento and Ryuga and Kazumi's plan. That was very well thought out. So that was a really good scene.
There was also the kind of foreshadowing of
Yes,
them being
there was
like,
the foreshadowing.
oh yeah, why don't we bury their dog tags on Skyroad? Okay, yeah, we'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah, never say that.
There isn't going to be a tomorrow. Decade?
At least you got a decent triple henshin out of it. But yeah,
That's
pretty
really
sad.
good.
That is true. We got a really good triple henshin this episode.
Some spinning wheel was playing in my head at that moment. You know the spinning wheel song, right, from Drive, where all three of them sing?
I haven't seen Drive.
That is a good song, but I haven't seen Drive. I still love that song.
You both need to get on and watch Drive.
It's okay. It's not that amazing of a show. Like the
Okay, yeah, I know it's not amazing of a show, right? But the second half makes it worth it.
yeah, okay. It depends on how much what they're doing picks you off. Where it's like, all right, like how much like you think this is genocide, and how much you're like, okay, we have to stop these guys. Where it's like if you start leaning on like you're killing like a new fucking life form, then it's like, okay, dude, like stop. But like it's not terrible. You're right. Like the weird thing is it's got like a couple good episodes, like really good like one shot episodes early on, and then like it's fucking mediocre for like most of the show, and like the final arc is really strong though. It's weird. I think it's like because like it's got the movie like in continuity and stuff like that, so it's like, oh shit, all the stuff in the movies happen, and then the show gets serious, but you don't see the stuff from the movies in the show, so it's like, oh okay, now we're like half of the show is comedy, and now we're getting fucking into like the good plot. Yeah, it's more like you have to stick around long enough for Drive. You know, it's not bad, it's just not great for like the first half.
Any other thoughts on the fight between the three riders and Rogue? before I move on to Misora's appearance.
Why does Sento keep using Hazard Trigger? I know he trusts the other guys to stop him, but as we see here, if he stops them first, we have problems. I really realizes, I should really either stop using this or make a failsafe to stop from going crazy.
That sounds like plot from the next episode. So
Okay, so the riders have trouble taking on Rogue, even working together. And then Mizora shows up to help. Rogue attacks her, and Bonzo jumps in the way and takes all the hits. Sento uses Hazard Trigger, and when he loses himself, Rogue just simply turns him on Kazumi instead. Really good tactic, by the way. Rogue then just takes Pandora's Box and bails. After taking out Kazumi, Sento turns his attention on the last person standing, Mizora. He grabs her and shoves her against a wall, and her bangle activates, affecting Sento's Hazard Trigger form. Episode end. So last week I said that I saw scans of Build's next form, and I was wondering how he was going to get them. I think we just saw it. Because his tank eye turns into another rabbit eye. So I'm pretty sure this is how it happens.
Which makes sense because of the whole purification thing. And Black Hazard looks pretty dirty, so if you purify that, you can get something that will actually help. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Hazard Trigger itself also changes because of this.
I mean, you don't even need scans at this point, because like right after Freaky or whatever, they have the little bit like, oh, Build coming up next, and they straight up spoil it, just like they spoiled Rogue.
I saw that. It's
so,
like, if I
don't even need the scans anymore.
If I hadn't seen the scans, that would have straight up spoiled it for me. Because Japan doesn't care about spoilers. They just don't.
Nope.
It's advertising to them.
But yeah, that was still a twist, though, for sure.
I still watch the next time on segments, though, even if it's spoilery.
you know what was cool? The rider kick clash of Rogue and Ryoga. Ryoga and Cross. When that Rogue's spinning rider kick was pretty cool, and I really like that when and then Ryoga getting knocked out after that. But and also that the tank half turning into rabbit half. I think that is just a setup for the next form. I really can't wait for what is gonna happen next. That's about it.
Okay, you guys like literally took all the best parts, but I have like
Sorry.
one funny. No, it's fine. There's like one funny thing. Okay, so I'll say like one funny thing. It's not from this ending part, but like the fight was good. Yeah, that rider kick was fucking great. Like Rogue, he's so damn stylish. It's great. As for like the purification thing, like yeah, all right. I didn't. Okay, it's interesting that they're gonna build off of that. Like, I mean, as much as I like Mizora helping them out, like one, what the fuck was she doing there? Two, like I don't like McGuffing. Like, oh, I touched you and now you get a new form. Like that's kind of annoying. Like, he's the build writer. He should have built a better system. But I think they're kind of incorporating both things next episode, which should be better. You know, it'd be annoying if it's like, oh, I just touched your belt and now it's all good. Like, that's annoying. Yeah. I love how in the intro, like, Banjo's like, did Misora, like, walk all the way here, like, barefoot? Like, what? Is she all cut up because of the broken glass and things like that? I'm like, yes! Somebody fucking acknowledged it. And, like, like not Banjo, Sento pretty much just like ignores him. I'm like, fuck you, man. Like that's a good point. There was no reason to ignore that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
even
Dragon.
last week, right, when Banjo and Center were talking, Banjo says that how he has not been getting much story, which is a valid point.
I thought that you would appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yuga is the voice of reason sometimes.
Kind of weird for him.
Yes, quite weird.
I mean, from yeah, go ahead, Drago.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, right, that they should keep on doing this for the rest of the season because this is great.
I
You're
mean,
right,
the
they
intros,
should.
like, yeah, I mean they're pretty fun. My problem is like if you're gonna like before the episode starts point out what was wrong with the last episode. Like if you know the problems, like why didn't you fix it? That's my only other thought that comes to mind because it kind of reminds me of like, man, parody games like parody video games tick me off because what they would do is like, oh look at this is really dumb, and they would like stand there and make fun of it, and then the exact like the rest of the game they would do the exact same fucking thing. I'm like, okay, if you clearly know it's a problem, do something better, you assholes. Like that stops being funny after a while.
I think they're just trying to
And
do this like meta commentary thing. Like, I'm sure that they want to give Bonjo more attention, but they just can't find the space to fit it in.
uh, and one more thing that I wanted to say that okay, that parody video games thing, right? It feels like okay, this is the problem I have with Deadpool.
Which part?
Like
I
the
mean, like how
the
Deadpool just says, okay, sorry, right, go ahead.
I was going to ask like the Deadpool video game or Deadpool in general.
Deadpool in general.
I mean, the thing with like Deadpool, I kind of give a little bit more of a pass. It's because like it's not his universe, so like he can't say, "Oh, well, this is really stupid," but change it because like he's part of the X-Men universe. You know, he's part of the Marvel universe, so like technically he can't change it. I'm more annoyed when like properties not connected to a franchise do it. But I mean, if you have gripes, go ahead. Drago?
Right?
Uh, you Zero's like leaving the way for you to talk more about Deadpool.
No, I only want to say that much because no, the thing is that yeah, he's part of the universe, right? But the writers at least should do things that which they can to at least circumvent some of the tropes, but they don't. I'm just talking about like some it gets annoying in a while because I get it that you're making fun of the thing that happening right now, but just try and change it.
All right.
Sorry. No. Yeah. That's a good point. Like it's I think that's why like the beginning jokes kind of annoy me in this. It's like, okay, fine. You're making like two things where you're saying it, but like if it gets to like episode 10 and it's the same like, "Oh, why didn't we fix it?" Like you've said this like 10 episodes in a row, man. Like at this point it's your own fault for not fixing the story, but like it hasn't gotten that bad. Um one last thing is like, okay, most people probably aren't gonna see this because they're not gonna get the version with the commercials, but I love how like a third of the way through this, it's like the two gear bros get like sent off to do something, and like Gentoku's like assistant, the cyborg guy, um takes him aside. Is like, "Oh, we have another mission for you," and then it like cuts to like a Sentai commercial. I'm like, oh my god. Like, oh, the real challenge, Gentoku. You have to do marketing. Oh my god.
You have to do
That-
marketing. You also have to get the Lupin Rangers and Pata Rangers to get along. Good luck.
Oh my god, yeah, it was perfect. That cut, like, I literally like stopped the video and like started laughing for like a minute straight because that cut, man, had to know what the fuck they were doing. But that was great.
Oh man, I need to rewind and experience that again.
I don't get the version with the commercials, unfortunately.
It's like the either the further it's like how Tsunami does the Dragon Ball Super commercial and cuts. It's pretty funny. You should check them out.
Oh, you mean the like the Vegeta ones?
Yeah.
I was also looking at the Ganba Rising card things with the various teams. So the Team Evil has Rogue, Zombie, and Oja. So all I can think of now is Gentoku only being able to stand Kuroto going, "I am a god" for a minute before beating the crap out of him.
Oh my god, that's great. That is great because here's the thing, like, oh, they're evil and they have like purple and shit, but the thing is, like, literally none of those guys could stand each other because like Oja's whole thing is like fuck everyone, and especially like assholes who look down on it, and like Gaim's whole no, not Gaim, Genim's whole thing is like he looks down on fucking everyone.
Whether or
And,
not
like,
he can.
oh yeah, that's the best part. Like, if like fucking super final form Gaim showed up, I think he would still be like, "I am God," you know, to fruit salad. um, regardless, but yeah, you're right, man. It'd be so fun just to see those three interact. Um, especially Gentoku. Okay, this is interesting because like you could pick like Oja and get him from any point, and they would pretty much kind of be fairly similar. But like Gentoku, there's like two different versions. It's like pre-Rider Gentoku or post-Rider Gentoku. Like they would have very different reactions. Like the one right now, which is the post-Rider one, would like kick the shit out of Genom the first chance he got. But if it was the one from before where he's like pretending to be like diplomatic, that'd be funnier because he's like, you know, he's basically having to deal with Stark except like 10 times worse.
While we're talking about the Gamma Rising, so in Heisei Final, for Build to get his X8 form, he uses the Doctor and Gamer bottles. But in Gamma Rising, like, there's an actual, like, Doctor Gamer form that he has.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, like Build has such nice designs. I just wish it was used better in the show. Um, would have been funnier if they like, it's like Doctor Gamer, and then they just pulled out like two different writers. But I'm like, it's kind of hard to think of who. Like, you could get like another Agito, and like think of a gamer writer. That's the problem.
Kamen Rider Guy liked to play sadistic games with people in the real world.
That's what I was thinking too. But I'm like, they're both from like, they're too close and they're too weird. Like it wouldn't.
All right.
But it'd be interesting.
Gamer Rider.
What are we discussing?
Gamer Riders.
Well,
We're
exit,
saying, like-
obviously, I can't think of any others.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like you could think of like doctors and scientists and dudes, but like there's nobody who just like fucking sits down in games. I mean, they are like side characters, but they never become writers. Yeah. To be fair, like the show about gaming writers has one writer who plays video games. You know? Oh, that's
Yeah.
kind of sad.
Still waiting on Heisei Generations final so I can actually watch it.
Oh yeah.
Well, True Ending is out, so you can watch that if you haven't.
Yeah, I need to get on True Ending.
I am waiting for another ending to get subbed because those three movies look so goddamn interesting, and I'm really jealous of the people who know Japanese
I
and can watch that.
I'm super curious about the Dan Curia one.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
I
Gonna
heard
be
from someone.
very
I heard from some.
interesting.
Okay, sorry, Ancient. Um, I heard from some people that Dan literally smashes Moon on Dan Kuroda smashes Moon on Masamune, the moon, the actual moon.
I
All
want to
right.
see that. And it'll be like, hey, it's Masamune, get it?
Ah,
To be fair, I mean, like,
And it doesn't
what?
even Japanese.
Yeah. My other thing is like, what could you do? Because like, okay, that like Dan killed Laser, and then like Laser killed Dan. So it's like, who the fuck has the upper hand at this point? Like, it's so weird. But it looks really interesting. Man, if only these damn things came out earlier. Because like we're halfway through build. You know, by the time they're fully subbed and stuff, we'll be like what, like almost to the end, 3/4 of the way.
oh, dude, how long did it take us to get Heisei Generations for X8? How
Oh,
long
man.
past was it irrelevant by that point?
Oh, so irrelevant. We already knew everything about Parada.
Oh, right, yeah, the whole
Oh,
perfect
dude.
puzzle game, which is supposed to be foreshadowing. It's like, yeah, we're way past that.
I mean, yeah, that is true. Like at that point, that form was basically becoming used. By the time we got to there, it's sad.
Okay, yeah, I was just gonna say I really miss the times and I should just watch Rider after it's over.
I mean, that's the problem of like watching shows. Um, I mean, we could always go back and watch Showa shows, but I'm like, you know, most of those are subbed.
Or we could just go back and watch Blade.
I've already watched it like
Should
twice,
watch
man.
Blade.
I watched.
I know
twice.
almost nothing about Blade or Hibiki. Should watch those next.
Okay, depends on how much you have time because Hibiki is like half a show. It's not half a show; it's a full show, but like a
Episode
little
after-
after halfway point, it has like the whole writing staff gets changed out. So basically, the feeling of the show changes, which means you basically only have to watch that first half, Hibiki.
Yeah, and I'm technically done. I'm done with most of the Rider shows. I'm going to show up, but I have still not seen Agito and Hibiki.
Oh, Agito's pretty good.
Agito's good. Watch Agito. Because the thing is, like, nobody... Like, the thing is, Hibiki's change pissed off everyone. So, like, nobody from Hibiki ever shows up. So watch Agito. At least, you know, like, another Agito shows up and things like that. Even if he doesn't, like, Agito is so interesting because, like, all three of the main writers have, like, a different gimmick. Like, an entirely different gimmick.
So here is one warning about Agito. The first half of the series tries to hold this mystery aspect, and one of the things that they hold a mystery about, and you'll probably be able to tell which one it is, when you finally get to the answer, it'll be super unsatisfying, so just don't get your hopes up.
Okay.
Like,
yeah, it's like
the-
it's not terrible. It's just it takes so long to get to the damn point that like if you personally hype yourself up, like holy shit, this reveal is gonna like blow this whole show wide open and like take it to another level. Like it's not gonna be that amazing.
it doesn't. Like, I was like, because they spent so much time, and I was like, okay, so this has to be super, like, really good, right? Like, this has to have some sort of big revelation. And then the revelation was flat. It's like, you could have told us this at any time.
Like imagine, okay, basically we were talking about like Heisei Generation Final, right? Um, Imagine that, like the whole paradox reveal, right? It's that. It's basically like, well, it's this interesting point in the story. Uh, but like, imagine we didn't get that reveal till like three quarters of the or yeah, 2/3, 3/4 of the way through the show, where it's like, okay, yeah, this fills in the backstory, but it's not super important. Like, why the fuck did you hype it up? Like, X8
Like,
doesn't hype it up, but Agito is like, right, this mysterious incident. There was this
like,
like pillar of light, and like the
what?
government.
What happened?
Yeah, right. Like the cops are basically hushed
Yeah.
up. Like anybody who knows anything about this, and like all the files are gone, and like uh, people got promoted just because to like hush them up and shit. Or that's what like Hojo thinks happened.
Half the people one of the characters tries asking about it die, and he thinks that it's like some massive cover up, and then it's just it's something that like could have been given to the audience episode 5.
Yeah, it's like, to be fair, like they like Agito, because Kuga was so insanely important, because like it was supposed to be the last one, like the last hurrah of the Rider franchise, but it became this gigantic hit in Japan. So like the next show is Agito, which means it now has to build a new formula, and like its formula is what the Heisei shows take. It's like, all right, you put a mystery, then you put like different writers, and they all have different gimmicks and stuff. Like, watch Agito because it built the Heisei Rider formula, and it does a really good job of it. But like, the one thing that most Heisei shows do a lot better than Agito is the mystery thing, because Agito dragged its mystery out way too long. It's interesting, but it's like the mystery doesn't live up to all the like build up it gets to it.
But a lot of the humor in Agito is spot on, and I love it.
I mean, yeah, except for later on when it seems like, all right, we're just adding humor to pad shit out and make fun of this one character for being like way too uptight, because like the main user of G3, like they throw a lot of jokes, I mean, at his expense later on. I mean, it's only for a bit, but like for like 5 episodes straight, like he gets like so much shit thrown his way. And like he's the butt of the jokes when he shouldn't be, and it seems weird because it just feels like padding kind of, but otherwise it's great.
It feels like, okay, from that explanation, it feels like what they're kind of doing to Ryoga. Kinda, because Ryoga still has importance in the show, I feel.
Kinda, but like it's no.
Imagine if like the show looked for more opportunities to make Ryoga feel like a meathead. Like unnecessarily so.
And like Agito doesn't do it for its whole run. It's just this one like chunk of episodes, like 2/3 of the way through the show. It happens, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, all right, once or twice this joke was fun. Like now you're getting out of hand, and like weirdly, then like Hojo starts showing up at the fucking like Suichi's house. I'm like, right, like you're literally the biggest like obstacle in the show. Like, what the fuck are you doing in comedy scene? It's weird.
Yeah, all the comedy stuff I was saying I like so much is mostly in the first half of the series.
Like it's never as bad as some of the, like it never goes as bad as like bad double or drive comedy moments where they're like way too fucking over the top. Like it's never that bad, right? Like it's not as insane as like Wizard, where like, oh shit, we have to fill out time because we don't have like scripts or actors, so Shunpei, fall on your ass for the millionth time. It's never that bad, right? But it is a little weird.
Okay.
Alright, back to Build. Final thoughts on this episode. This was a good episode. The death of the last of the Three Crows was the most flaccid of them all. It kind of felt like they were just kind of getting the character out of the way. But you know what? I'm fine with that. If they weren't going to use him, then they should write him off. So,
Yeah. This was a very, very good episode. I'm excited, of course, to see where it goes from here. I did expect that Akaba would also die because the other two had died. So his death of the episode, but everything else was awesome. Everything else was really good.
Oops, sorry, my turn. Yeah, I'm loving the pacing of the show now. I mean, I'm glad my prediction was right because that first couple of episodes was pretty damn choppy, and I just I just had a feeling that the plot would be much better panned out by this point, and it definitely is. They're coordinating like so many different subplots and character arcs that it's just working really well right now, and I'm looking forward to what happens next.
Yeah, I also wanted to say the thing in this show that yeah, uh, well, you know how the pacing has, I don't know, after episode 21 the pacing has mellowed down so much that it feels like it's going at a normal pace like how other rider shows go, and not like a maglev.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's mostly like this is Bandai's fault and Toei's too. It's like, right, like calm down with the fucking toys. Because the biggest problem of the early part of build is there's just so many goddamn bottles, and like even now we're getting them, but like they're like, all right, just put them off in a mini series or whatever. Nobody cares because like, we don't even have time to use them. And I think once we got the damn bottles out of the way, like we finally started getting really good. And right now, it's pretty solid of a show. It's slowing down a little, but like that could just be because it's getting either better pacing or hopefully it's not that like it's hitting burnout level where it's like by the end, like three-quarters of the way through, like we got nothing left. Like I don't think that could happen because there's so much story you can still tell in the setting. Um, but yeah, as for right now, it's pretty solid.
Personally, for me, if this show goes as it's going right now, it's gonna surpass Kuga. Because I at least have some faith in the writers because I'm familiar with his some of his works in movies. So yeah, if we, including that, because of that, at least I feel that this show is gonna be much better than a lot of shows right now, and it's already reached my top five. If you without if even if I don't include without the show getting over, that's how good I feel Build is. At least in my opinion, anyways. But yeah, because more if they just write themselves up, they don't write themselves into a corner and they just make the show better and better with the plot. I think that's the case. I'm too hopeful for this, but yeah, it's gonna be better than I feel it's gonna be better than Kugel by the end.
I mean, it is solid. My problem is like the Kuga is like solid throughout. Therefore, like yeah, you can give it that. Like technically, I can't because well, Kuga is so damn brilliantly written. As for me, like Build is really solid. Like you're right, we haven't had this good. Like we were talking before, we hadn't had like a solid writer show back to back in so many years. Like especially after like all right, people like diss on Coast. Coast isn't bad. It just kind of fell apart. Um, like it's not terrible. It's just kind of mediocre. Um, and yeah, after that, especially with like how goddamn insane X8 looked, and it turned out to be really fun and really good. And then like Build, its early stuff wasn't good, but like right now it's super solid. Uh, that's good. Like hopefully the next show is good too, and like Bandai learns its goddamn lesson and like tones down the fucking gimmicks because like there's so many gimmicks they don't have room to put them in the show. Like you saw the freaking Pandora's Box like reviews. I mean, like each side, like all six sides, has what like 8 bottles on each of them. It's fucking
I think
madness.
10.
What? Like seriously? That's even worse. Holy shit!
Yeah, I think there's a
Like
total of 60 bottles.
Yeah, there are 60
Jesus,
bottles.
man. And I thought like Forza is like 40 something, 45 because for the 45th anniversary it was bad, but sheesh, that is fucking terrible. No wonder we don't
No,
have them
no,
for any.
no. It was 40th anniversary, so there's 40 switches and 5 additional ones that are special.
Does that include like the Nade Shiko rocket or like when he fused with Meteor in the movie or whatever?
Yeah, those ones. I think there are 3 meteors. Of the fusion switch, and one the super rocket switch. That yeah, those 5. And I think there's one more from Hyper Battle DVD thing called
Oh, the one
uh
where he goes to meet
Rocket Drill.
Amazon.
Amazon, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Um, that is so weird, but whatever. It's great. They're both friendship writers. Uh, um, yeah. Like, hey, whatever. Amazon's third movie comes out next month. No, 2 months from now, right?
Yeah, Amazon's movie comes out. Yeah, this guy is, and I'm really hyped for that.
I know, me too. It's so cool. Especially because it has more tokusatsu actors. I'm like, hey, that's cool. They're getting work. Like, I haven't seen what's he from? Ninja or Hurricane, right? Hurricane.
Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't seen that one. Like, I saw the Power Rangers season. Sentai. Um, that is cool. All right. I was checking. We don't have any more comments in the chat right now, so I guess yeah, that is all for today.
I have one more thing to say.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Because it's clear in the show that there's still like another spy leaking information to Namba. If it turns out to still be Sawa,
Oh god, that's
That-
the preview for next week. It's like, oh, one of us is the
Yes.
And
it'll
I'm like,
be
is it Sawa again?
it'll be the most boring reveal in this entire show. We
Okay.
just got like a random character we've never met before revealed as a spy, and I found that more interesting than the idea that Sawa is still a spy.
I hope Sawa is not a spy.
Yeah. I mean,
okay. Let me hear me out. I hope they put that rug from under our feet and say Miss Sora is a spy.
Yes, I want that.
that's what I was going with too, because I'm like, all right, we see, let's see, 6 characters, I think.
We
It's
see like the whole
one
main
of us is the
cast.
spy. So it's like it's Sento, Banjo, Misora, Sawa, and Grease. Oh, I guess that's only 5. Um, right, characters. And it's like one of us is the spy. I'm like, all right, well, it's not gonna be fucking like it's not Sento. It's probably not
not.
Banjo because like
Probably
when would
not
he have time?
Bonzo.
It's probably
Definite-
Very unlikely to be Greece.
Very
here's the
unlikely.
weird
He's
thing,
from a
like-
whole other country, so that
right.
leaves
That's the worst
girls.
part because it's like, all right, now then you're left with 3. All right, if it's Sawa, it's super boring, so it probably isn't Sawa. Then you're like, all right, it's Misora and Greece, and it's like, why the fuck would Misora be a spy? And therefore you were left with Greece, and it's like it doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
Unless, like,
Okay.
Visor is one of Nanba's children somehow,
Yeah.
and being
That's what I was gonna go
brainwashed
for.
somehow, and doesn't even know she's a spy.
That would be
I'd
more
like that.
interesting than if we resort to Sawa again.
It would.
I actually welcome the idea
Totally.
that Misora doesn't know she's a spy.
Plus, we know
Yeah.
she can get possessed by that bangle. Who knows what the bangle's intentions are?
And also the fact that she was in coma for like 7 years and 3 years she was with Soichi. Yeah, it lines up.
Okay, I mean, it's possible, because my one problem is like, right, if they say, "Oh, she was trained from childhood to be a spy," I'm like, didn't you like lose your memories? Unless they're
Uh,
lying about that and
okay,
like they just
so
locked her memories away.
the way amnesia works is that you don't lose skills. If you learn how to play a guitar, you can still play the guitar, you just won't remember learning how.
The thing is, if Misora is the spy, is Soichi a dick enough to wipe his own daughter's memory? I'm saying yes.
Yeah, I mean, the other
Yes.
thing is like, I don't think Misora actual. Yeah, go ahead, Dragon.
No, I just said yes.
You can keep going,
Zero.
Zero.
I mean, like that was my last point anyway. Because the thing is, like, Soichi keeps saying it's his daughter, but like, there's no guarantee
Yeah,
that it.
I think it's like he adopted her.
Yeah, that's what my thoughts were too. And the other freaking weird thing is like, we keep going to Soichi. It's like, ah, hey, dude, like, let's have a chat. Like, fuck off. He's still like probably the biggest villain in the show.
Why do you still trust this guy?
Soichi is
Exactly.
actually the main antagonist.
Right, like all the bullshit that you had to go through and all the shit, like Henshin right now kicks Suichi's ass.
Seriously,
He's
Sento's just
done
like,
it like
if you
5
lay a
times.
hand on Misora, I won't let you get away. Why are you letting him get away now?
Exactly,
Yes,
right?
Sento, please punch him. I will cheer and throw flowers.
Okay, I think this is the unspoken rule in Build right now. If you're not transformed, you have no right to punch anybody.
Man, from all the bullshit we brought back from like early Heisei, that is the biggest pile of shit that I thought we would never see again, but like I guess it's back. Like there's something to stay with sticking with like, oh, we like fives, let's do fives, but no man, don't do that.
Also, typically, when someone henshins, the other person will also henshin because they're expecting to get punched either way.
Yeah, that is a good point, right? Like he's not a civilian, like he is a writer. We could just kick his ass and then drag him back if we wanted to. Like this whole bullshit is going to. It's so dumb. This is so dumb.
Alright.
Let's wrap this up.
Okay, you know what? I'll say this. I can't even complain about that because I love that guy so much.
Yeah, that's fair. Anyways, that's it for tonight, folks. Decade unfortunately had to leave before he could say goodbye, so I'll say it for him. Later, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us, everyone, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye bye.